Hi there, my name is Clara Natla. Today I'm going to be talking about using technology in the EFL class. So technology nowadays is very important. We know that we have classrooms where we have no resources. However, there are others that have plenty of them. So we need to know how to use them or how we can adapt our teaching practice depending on the context we are in. So for that reason, it is important for you to know different concepts in relation to technology embedded into learning so that you can manage them in your didactics class. So the first thing is distance learning, the second is going to be e-learning, the third is going to be blended learning, the fourth one mobile learning, and finally flipped learning. Okay, so to start with, let's go over the concept of distance learning. It is a way of learning remotely without being in regular face-to-face contact with a teacher, right? So this is very important to understand that distance learning is when you have a different contact with your teacher. It's not face-to-face, but it's more like having encounters like synchronously or asynchronously, but using online devices, right? Why this situation happens? Because people have difficulties like going to the school or at the university where they study, and also because they travel so much, so there are different situations why people decide to like to go over distance learning. In here, well, you can have access to information 24/7 because everything is going to be on a platform, so people can have a very easy access to it. Okay. The second concept is e-learning. So, e-learning is any kind of learning that takes into account technology to help the learner, like to achieve the objective of learning something. So, an example of this is like videos. So the teacher can create videos, touchscreen technology, online tools, any kind of media. However, there's a myth about e-learning. People think that this is only for online environments, so it doesn't have like to do anything with face-to-face interaction. It's not true. Actually, that's what we have in here. So it can happen in any kind of classroom. So the E name, the E, learning, is just related to the technology that you use to do so. Okay, so, but it can happen in any kind of context. Like, for example, in here, we have face-to-face encounters, distance learning, no problem, that's okay. Okay, now blended learning, it's another kind of learning. We have in here that is blended because it combines both online and in-person learning experiences. So in here, an example of this is when you might attend a class, yes, taught by a teacher, any teacher, in the traditional setting. However, you have to complete some activities online, like on your own, so that you can end up with your activities rightly. Okay, so this blended learning is very interesting because it's for people that might be also busy, but these people have the possibility to attend classes, some classes, not all of them, as like face-to-face interaction, like all the time. But this blended learning is another possibility for people that, for example, live far from Bogota, for example, and they come to universities to study here for a weekend, and then they go back to their hometowns and they continue studying on their own, like advancing on their projects and stuff that they have to do at the university. Mobile learning, it's very interesting, as the name says. So it is related to mobile learning. It is the ability to obtain or provide educational content on personal pocket devices such as PDAs, smartphones, mobile phones. It takes into account also different apps that can be used for educational purposes, such as Animoto, Minimovie, Duolingo, that is very famous nowadays, etc., etc. So there are different apps that can be used in class. So remember that using the cell phone in class is not a sin anymore. So actually, it can be the teacher's friend, looking for information, using dictionaries, or adapting presentations like anecdotes students may share, but using these devices. Okay, finally we have the flipped learning. Flipped learning is a new pedagogical approach because it is a way like to change the normal instruction as it is done like normally. Instruction, and here we have direct instruction moves from the group learning space to individual learning space, and the resulting group space is transformed into a dynamic interactive learning environment where the educator guides students as they apply concepts and engage critically in the subject matter. So, for example, the teacher prepares the class by using a video, a guide, or something, and then students read the information beforehand, and when they go to class, so they are ready with the topic, plenty of doubts of it, and then the teacher in class time, like face-to-face encounters, is the one that helps students understand the topic, and it's according to the needs that each person has. Because, for example, if that is a video, the tool that the teacher creates, so the student can go over the video as many times as possible. Okay, so in that way, it is like guaranteed that student is going to learn taking into account his or her own pace. So that's why it is very interesting, because it's somehow personalized. All right, it has 4 pillars as we have in here in the picture. So flexible environment, learning culture, intentional content, and professional educators, which is something you're going to go over more deeply in your didactics class. Okay, so these are their preferences, and this is the general information about how to use technology in the EFL classroom. Thank you very much.